everything is then selectable as one object. So what we need to do now is to our plane, we need to add an edit poly modifier. This will allow us to edit the types of parts of the plane that we're selecting. But first, to our plane, to allow for this morphing to be nice and smooth, we're going to increase the amount of segments we have. So we're going to also, in our view settings here, choose the display selected with edged faces option so we can see the amount of segments. And again here we're just going to change the amount of segments to something like 200 by 200. Like so. In our edit poly options modifier, we're going to expand it and select all our vertices. These little ones here. So we're going to select them all. And then in here, in our vertex properties, we're going to choose the soft selection expanded option box here and tick use soft selection. And in our fall off here, we're going to make this quite small. We're going to make this 1. All right. Now our next step is to add to this plane a volume select modifier. So we're going to go vol select. And we're going to choose the volume that we're choosing for the morphing of our plane to be first none. And by selecting none, we're then going to click onto the topography that we've now joined. So click none in your volume select options and then click on the topography. And now you'll see here that it says height 252. Which means that we've chosen the topography of New York City to be the volume that we're going to select for our plane to morph over. And then in the select by option here as well, we're going to click the mesh object button. And we're going to choose the vertex option as well here. So you'll start to see that we're starting to see some kind of differences in the color or the heat map of this plane. We're going to click the soft selection option as well. And the fall off, we're going to make that a small number as well. Just like before we did with our plane and our edit poly. The reason why we make the fall off a small number is so that we can get more accurate readings of that heat map style thing that occurs when we choose the soft selection. So currently it's all red or orange. So that was because the fall off was at a higher number, which was 20. By placing it at 1, we should get more variation in our colors of our heat map. So now that we've decreased our fall off, we're going to add another modifier. We're going to add the push modifier onto our plane, and this will allow for our plane to extrude. So push modifier, and we're going to increase the value, and you'll see how this extrudes slowly. So if we look from the top, we can see the areas where our building forms are. And now if we put the turbo smooth modifier on top of this, it will allow the surface to smooth out and it will allow it to be easier to read. So now we have smoothed our surface. And if we look from underneath, we can see the buildings that the surface is coming from. From the top we can see those two. So this is just one example of how you can use the volume select, push and turbo smooth modifiers to start to kind of analyze your topography in an interesting way, which can make for some pretty cool diagrams and heat maps to add to, say, a site analysis. At times you might get these little lines that come out when you do a topography kind of surface. You can go through by selecting your plane in your edit poly section. If you select vertex, you can go through and delete the parts of it that you don't wish to be part of this volume select or push modification. So in the next video, we're going to look at how we can animate objects in 3ds Max, and this will kind of end up being the theme for the rest of these how-to videos, looking at animation and automatic processes in 3ds. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.